by Brian Drum, like Frank got screwed around?
We have some friends in the state that we'll go to, but that's all we can do. We do have a lot of contacts at the state level and FEMA level. We will be doing everything we can to. I don't like to go over anybody's head because you don't want to destroy a relationship that you may need. But if we have to go around them or over them, we will. I mean, that's about as answer as I can.
Because he was supposed to get several permits.
I've heard that, and it's funny because I've had so many people speak ill of them. I've had some people speak well of them. I've had 3 conversations with them on the same subject, and I got 3 different answers. So I don't know Brian. I've never met him, other than talking to him on the phone. And I hope, I know he's been here a few times. I just hope, I can't do more than hope that he's going to give us the permits in place at the right time and get it done. And we'll have to go above and around him if we don't. Yeah.
When the men come into the stream and to remove the debris, how many people are going to be? How many are there going to be working? Is it going to be 50, 100?
There won't be that many. There's just not enough. You have to get enough equipment in there to have that many people. They'll probably, we were laying it out. We're probably going to have 15 or so monitors. There'll probably be 5 access points, hopefully, into the streams at different places, so that you can hit. Because the other thing we're going to have to do is pull the debris out and put it to a site and kind of an easement to put the debris that can be now be picked up on the side of the road or on the side of the embankment. I don't really know how much equipment we're going to have in there or how many people, but it's not. You're talking probably 20.
Are they also going to push the stones up against the sides of the bank?
Right now, they're just doing the vegetative debris. That's our first goal, is get the vegetative debris out there. The second goal is going to be the rocks and the stones and the soil. I highly doubt that's going to happen before the 30th. I just don't think that's physically possible. But we have talked with the contractor about reshaping that and what the local capabilities about having the equipment in there to reshape it.
So Dan, that wouldn't be until after June 30th then? That
June
window
15th.
like-
Yeah, and it depends on their leeway. I mean, what will they allow us to do outside of that date that's in that permit? Because it's pretty well written in there. The spawning of trout spawning stream is the 30th of June 15th. So I hope he gives some leeway.
Is the contractor required to pay prevailing wage rate?
Yes. The monitor is not, but the debris removal contractor is. And that, we talked to the Department of Labor, the monitors are not considered I guess trade is the term they use. It's not considered a trade because it's watching people remove debris, but moving the equipment and everything else is prevailing wage.
How does one know if their property is going to be part of the debris removal?
If you're on the stream and you have property on that stream, there's a pretty good bet you're going to be part of it. If you give us a right of entry, we'll call you before we go in around your property. You'll know beforehand. We're not going to just show up one day and start running through your backyard. We'll let you know.
Please do.
When it comes down to gravel removal,
Yep.
Gravel has worth. Who would reap the benefit from the
The
gravel
town.
removed? Could it
Our
be
goal is
sold?
to turn that into material that the town can use on for road projects. We talked to Jimmy about it. He said yes, they can use that. They can't take, I don't know what the number was, but they have a limited storage areas here. But the plan was to reuse it. And I believe the DEC permitting this piece process is you can take it out, but you can't reshape it. I don't make the rules. I just have to live by it. Sure.
You said there's going to be 5 access points?
That's our goal. Is we're looking at it, and we think we can do it from 5 access points.
And can we see these maps before we sign off these property?
ROEs. Sure.
And if you push everything to the side, like you said you may have to do, how would they go back and clean all of that off the sides if they couldn't be in the stream?
I mean by sides, I mean to the easement points.
Yeah, but if they're not allowed back into the stream, then how would they clean all that?
The easement, where you're coming in, we're going to pile the debris there so that we can have easy access to it without going into the street. It's not to just put it on the side of the embankment.
So make it
Bring it back to those 5 easement points. And that was the point of the 5 easement points. Not only get the equipment in there, but put the debris there until we can come back together. Ash trees. We can't take ash trees out of the county. They are listed as hazardous material under the RFP. They have special handling. They can go to a DEC dump site. They can be ground and left on site. I think that's the only two options.
I think they can also stay.
They can stay on site. If we take it, they have to be buried within 24 hours the same day, I believe.
Even though they've been there for.
What was that? You can move them out of state?
Within the state, all counties, because I'm a logger, and it's lifted from October 1st till April 30th.
That is good to know, because does it still have to go to a special DEC dump site? Okay. Because we're going to bring in an arborist to identify ash trees. Because when the leaves
I'm
aren't
gonna
on.
check with the DEC, but as far as I've been told, with logs and firewood logs and timber,
Yep.
timber after October 1st, can be moved around the counties.
That's good, because in the permit it says otherwise, so I'll have to ask Brian for that.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'd actually like to ask the gentleman in the corner a question, if I may. You, from what you're hearing, because I have no idea what these numbers are, from what you're hearing about these numbers and taking the wood out of the stream, how do they compare with what your estimate was, or I mean, do these numbers sound? How do they sound? How do they strike you?
Well, it's kind of confusing the way that they set up a cubic yard.
FEMA pays by the cubic yard, it's just the FEMA.
Trees and vegetation to a cubic yard, and then you know, was someone going to watch you to make sure you really acted the load of brush, or was it just going to be a fluff load you're going to get paid for? You know, when you got one big stump and one big tree in there, is that a full load? It was just like, I've never bought or sold.
Before he goes farther, let me tell you how that works, which is the way FEMA works debris
I
removal.
couldn't be a good judge.
So you have a 30 cubic yard dump truck. FEMA, you have to, before you use it, you have to certify the size. You have to measure it, weigh it, certify that size, put on the side of the truck a placard that says the cubic yardage size of that truck. When it gets filled, there's a monitor that determines, it's usually what they call a tower monitor, that determines how much debris, percentage of debris is in that truck. You'd be surprised how damn accurate they are. I'm shocked, because I heard somebody say something, but I am shocked at how accurate they are, because they actually did a study, the Corps of Engineers did one, and they used some kind of forensics, and I don't even know what they did, but they were plus or minus 2% on average. And basically what they say is, okay, you got a 30 cubic yard truck, we see it as 87% full, you get paid, you know, say it's $10 a cubic yard, you get 87% of that full truck. And that's how they determine. FEMA pays generally two ways: cubic yardage or by weight. Weight almost never happens in any debris project anymore, simply because there's not enough scales in the United States in a major disaster to have scales out there to weigh. So it's just they moved away from it.
If I could say something.
Absolutely. I'm not a logging expert.
I did a little work in the street palm over there, where it's like for sale, and U.S. Agriculture and Ulster County Soil and Water came out with this deal here where you can take and use the stumps and the logs and the debris in the side of the stream where the bank was eroded in it.
Yep.
And I've been logging for 30 years, and I've seen a lot of stuff in streams, and Dave Rositz has this deal going on where you woody debris for repairing streams, because they use what beavers done, and it's hard to like break a beaver dam, so they use that idea on with the woody debris. It seems to me, like if you look at the section across from the town hall where I worked by Tom there, where I stuck all them trees in the bank there, I was charging like $6,000. And all them trees are gone, and they're put to good use off to the side there, and not like all this diesel fuel and all this help. I think if like you took like 15 of us from around this community and did something like that all around these streams where you could put these trees, it'd be a lot cheaper than this. I think you're making too much at it. And I drove to Delhi today, and I see thousands and tens of thousands of trees all the way from here up to there, and I'm saying, how much money does the U.S. government have? They're going to take all these trees out of the Esopus, all these trees out of all the tributaries. I thought to myself that it's never going to happen because it's just so much disaster. Why are they just going to do it here?
And
that's my feelings on the whole thing. I'm not saying another word the rest of the night.
Hey, you know more about logging than I'll ever